Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Geeky Philosophies. There won't be any music playing this time, and as you can see, I'm in a slightly different environment, but here to give you that good stuff. If you saw the little clip earlier, we'll be diving into MTG's last color before we possibly go into combinations and who I think fits this or that and all that stuff of the MTG color pie, ending in black. Black, the color of swamps, death, darkness, and nightmares. What black values are people that may be in mostly in the black territory, MTG color values is most of the time they are very amoral. They have their amorality, which basically means selfishness above all else. If it's not about them, they're probably not going to do it. This basically means that this cause more, most of the time, in some cases, it's about their stuff. It's about them, their space. In some cases, they even almost put themselves up on a pedestal. They want to make sure that their life is important before anyone else's life is important. They also, in the other dark side of that, if that was a dark side, is pretty much parasitism, which basically means selfishness at the expense of others. This is basically where a lot of stepping over people, using people as stepping stones, or leeching off somebody until you are in the best possible position before you take them out or go into a different area. However, I have another theory of, or another view of how to view all this in Black's color. And that, my theory, is of ambition, ambition of power, ambition for victory, ambition to do all that it takes to win. Because what, in some cases, black can do almost anything most of the other colors can do. Black has counter spells. Black can produce mana. Black can even create menacing creatures. But what makes black understand that is that to be able to get that out in a fast pace, an efficient pace, or in an unfair pace in certain cases, it understands the value that everything has to come with a price. And for blacks, in black's case, pretty much in theory, for its ambition so much to do the things that it needs to do, is willing to pay the price. Which means sometimes that price will look like somebody sacrificing a creature, or mostly it sacrificing a creature. That price may be paid in discarding card. That price may even be paid in actually taking some of the controller's life. But the price is well worth it because it's able to do its things so it can get closer to victory. Now, what are the other things that make black known besides what I just stated? Well, it uses a lot of dark psychology to its means. One of the dark psychology it uses is fear. We already know that pretty much white in the MTG color case is most of the time will be the symbol of hope, the symbol of courage. Black is the opposite. It uses fear. It uses paranoia. It definitely uses fear. If not fear of what we think, fear of what the enemy thinks. In fact, old school players would know that there used to be a mechanic called fear. And basically, if basically mechanic went that if a creature can pretty much go to an opponent and hit them without being blocked, unless that creature happened to be black or an artifact. Reason being, the that creature that had fear was either so intimidating, so scary, that either only a creature that is of the same color could block it, or a creature that technically doesn't register feelings, artifacts, could also block it because it won't be afraid of it. But black has a good understanding of dark psychology. Another part that it's a good use of its dark psychology is negative thoughts and paranoia, which it takes in the form of Black forcing people to discard cards from their hand, and pretty much have people and pretty much ingest in people's minds negative thoughts, negative self-talk, paranoia thoughts, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of, are you sure you want to do this? You're not strong enough. You're not fast enough. You can't handle this. And then they go, you're right, I can handle this. And they start losing their mind a little bit. Or or in some cases, losing their courage, which gives Black the upper hand because it's most of the time courageous. Or basically, it's already strong enough to overpower that. Another thing that makes it Black, excuse me, there we go. Another thing that Black uses to its advantages is disease and body weakening. Remember, on the amoral side of Black, it'll do anything to win, including play unfair rules. Remember, there's a reason that in some cases during war times, it is greatly frowned upon for either side to start using biological weapons because they are quite unfair. But a true person that's based in Black doesn't see it that way. He sees it as, nope, it's another means to win. It's another means for me to win. And that means if it's on the field, play ball. If it is at my disposal, if I can use this to my advantage, I'm gonna use it to my advantage to win. Thus, Black has a good understanding of disease and how the body works so it can know how to weaken it. And you see this in magic based on pretty much certain spells or enchantments that give negatives to certain creatures so that they become so weak they can't get up, or they become so weak that they die. Pretty much, if I had to sum it up, Black's case on how to go through life, especially when it comes with using its own self or sacrificing parts of itself as a means to win, is it doesn't matter if you win by having 100 life or one life. Winning is winning. And that's Black all cares about. It cares about the win. It cares about it winning. It cares about it being safe or it being alive at minimum and having its opponents, its enemies dead. To Black, everything is a resource, including itself. So, what are the good sides of Black besides that? Because I did state earlier, or I did state in one of the videos, that yes, Black looks like a dark evil thing, but technically, no. Like I said, too much of this or in a bad balance of Black, bad balance of this color is a bad thing. The good balance of this color can be good. So what's the good balance of Black? A person that has a good balance of Black is they look after their self-help. They look after their self-health. They make sure that they're okay first before they help everybody else. Reason being, they have a good understanding that I'm a planet and you're a planet. But in order for me to be able to help you out, I got to make sure that I'm good. And that's their main thing. Sure, under certain circumstances, they will possibly help somebody out, but they want to make sure that they're good before they help you out most of the time. A good balance of Black is that they have a healthy ambition or a thirst for power or position. They have something they're going for. They're not just willy nilly. Most of the time, if they are a, in the good case of Black, they are very focused. They know what they want, and they have a healthy balance of, I'm gonna go for this, but at the same time, I'm not going to just forget how life is. Life can be pretty good. Life can be pretty enjoyable. Let's enjoy it. Another good use of Black, it's a good use of its fears, or in some cases, is not afraid of anything. What I mean by good use of fears, and the first thing is Black may know Black does have fears. It does. But what makes it different from the rest of the colors is that black is willing to face those fears so we can get over them, or in some cases, control what feared it to its advantage. And that's what I mean by good use of fears. Black knows its weaknesses, black knows what it's afraid of. But instead of it going, well, I'm weak at this, so I'm not going to, so I might as well accept it. Black goes, no, I'm afraid of this. I'm going to get used to this, so I'm not afraid of this. And I can move on to the next thing. And then, of course, once you get past that, you have pretty much the other side that I talked about, which is black's not afraid of anything. It's not afraid of the monster that's knocking at the door. It's not afraid of that person who dresses weird. Black accepts all things and goes, you know what? You may be creepy, you may be different, you may be something I'm not used to, but I accept that. We're cool with each other. As long as you do not threaten my life or what I care about, you're okay. And that's how that's how the good side of black is. And following along with that, black has a good understanding of creatures and afflictions. Like I mentioned, like I mentioned right there, it has an acceptance because it understands that just because this person or this creature looks threatening or looks menacing or looks like it's going to snap at the last moment doesn't technically mean it does. In fact, I'm going to try to understand it so that we can possibly vibe together. That's what black is. Because black has one of the scariest things in its color besides green. Well, actually, all the colors have something scary in them. I'll pretty much go by them at one video or whatnot. But black is known to have the pretty much the scariest looking creatures. But because of that, it understands that. And of course, with afflictions, we all have some kind of mental challenge, mental health, or physical health that may be a little bit abnormal. But black sees that and wants to understand that. It wants to be like, hey, you're like this, cool. Accept it. Use it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't think of it. Don't make it think you're less. You can be just as efficient. Another good thing when black is in good balance is it do what needs to be done. It doesn't shy from, okay, this is in my way, that's in my way. No, black looks at it and goes like, nope, I'm going to this thing. We're going to do it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to own it. That's what black does. And finally, black has a good, strong mind and good confidence. Black is so confident, so strong on what it is. It pursues it. It slays it. It already knows what its mental plan is, already knows what it feels like. It's not going to sway from it. We got it. That's what black feels like. I'm going to finish the rest of the video in a minute. I'm going to check something.